So for the past 40 days, we've been on a journey. We've done these 90-second messages from the Gospel of St. John, where our Lord presents who he is. It's an astounding spot in the Bible. It's the only spot in the Bible where he does this. The other gospel writers don't have Jesus saying, I am, and then I am 7 different times. I mean, and it's a mark of the Gospel of St. John that's absolutely unique. And I want to dwell with that because in our faith, a lot of us struggle to understand what we're supposed to do. We hear about the faith as an idea, but it doesn't grip our hearts. And that's why I wanted to reveal Jesus speaking boldly and bluntly to us about who he is. Because when he does that, you have to respond. I mean, you might respond by saying, I'm not going to listen to him. You might respond by saying, I don't want to know. Those are responses, though. You can turn your back, just like they did it to him in the Gospels. But you could also say yes, because if he takes that first step and says who he is, it allows us to take the next step and say who we are in response. Our problem today isn't that there's an overwhelming culture that's swallowing us up. It's not the case. It's rather that there's a real lack of internal identity that allows us to be overwhelmed by any culture that proposes anything for us. Do you know who you are? Right? Your faith ought to be a key for you to discover who you are. Well, to know who you are, you need to fall in love. You need to tell me what you want, what you desire. It's the beginnings of discovering who you are. And so if someone wants to say, well, I mean, like, I desire nothing. Well, then you are nothing. I mean, it's a really sad statement, but it's the truth. Christ came to say that he desires union with us and our union with the Father. Right? And now, what are we going to do about it? The Christians are those who try to say yes to that, who follow. And so I wanted to give you a special depth to the messages we've been giving now by going in a retreat over this Holy Triduum, these 3 days, Triduum, Tridae, 3 days. So Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and Easter Sunday. And it's the holiest time of the Catholic calendar, of the Christian calendar, because in it we celebrate, which means we reactualize, we live again what Jesus Christ did for us. Which means if you have the courage, you can stand in front of the Son of Man and allow his death for you to be real by your faith. And that will engender hope and a love that will never stop, and your life will be changed forever. And that is the point. So I wanted to present to you the days starting on Wednesday, right? And going through Thursday, the Last Supper, to Good Friday, the death on the cross, and Holy Saturday, walk with you for these 5 days to help you to live inside this encounter with Christ. Because we've been meditating on him saying who he is. Now, in this passion, you're going to see something happening. Christ almost becomes hidden behind the wounds and the hurts and the suffering that he undergoes, so that in the end, he looks a lot more like us. Right? And so as he says who he is, he then in his passion becomes our lack of response, our reasons for running away. He actually espouses those to himself as well, so that none of us could ever despair that somehow God doesn't know us, or that somehow we're not worthy, or that somehow we're left on the outside, because you are not left on the outside. He's going to literally become the cave in which you're hiding. That's the power of Jesus in the Passion. So you can look at your cave and say, well, I'm hiding in my pride, or I'm hiding in my sense of rejection, or I'm hiding in my sense of entitlement. You know, I don't need God because of this or that. Whatever you have, he's coming for you. And in the Passion, you see him coming for you. He is hungry. And so he's coming for you so much that he'll actually become that mystery. He'll embody that rejection that you think separates you from Him. So that even in that rejection, you suddenly find yourself eye to eye with Jesus Christ, who says there is no reason now for anyone to stay apart from me.